Hi, thank you so much for joining me for another live on a Tuesday in November. It's November the 1st today. Ooh, it's November the 1st. So I've put two questions together today. You can maybe see them tick by, maybe actually not, because I don't know if YouTube also does it, but I know that LinkedIn generates automatic, what are they called, subtitles or something like that. And that means that it can be difficult for you to see what I have written. So the question today is, can I sell my intellectual property? And if so, how much is it worth? Now, this is really two excellent questions. And so let's start with the first one. Can I sell my intellectual property? Oh, by the way, do say hi when you join. And if you've got any questions, type them into the box so that they show up at my end. Because I'm not on either YouTube or LinkedIn. I'm sat in a back office, as it were. I think you know that by now. And so that means if you have any questions for me to receive these questions, you need to actually type them in for me. And so let's go back to the two questions. Can I sell my intellectual property? And this book is mine and I self-published. I did that because I wanted to retain all the intellectual property. So normally when you write a book and you get a book deal, you've already sold part of your intellectual property. I need to get some water. My throat is a little bit sore today. I don't have any lemons, unfortunately. So so when you get a book deal, you then sell part of your intellectual property to the publishing house. Trying to get my head to sit straight. That's a bit weird when you are not looking in an actual mirror. Anyway, so another type of intellectual property that people sell is when they create a film. They also sell part of the intellectual property so that the cinemas get a right to sell tickets to screen the film. And then, of course, if it's a really popular film, like the Harry Potter series, the films, the books, Harry Potter was obviously originally a book, and then somebody bought the rights to make the film of J.K. Rowling, and she I think was also writing the screen plays or part. She took part in it, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't looked it up recently. So so that's another thing. And then something else that came out of all this with Harry Potter was all the merchandise. And now that we're getting close to Christmas, all of that Harry Potter merchandise is showing up again. Because it's very popular, obviously, and so that's another thing that you can do, and so you sell the rights to somebody to make the merchandise, or you may retain it and sell the merchandise yourself. But these are ways of making your intellectual property work for you. And then, of course, if you didn't want to own the intellectual property anymore, you can sell it. That is your prerogative. As the creator, it's your decision. Do I want to hold on to this? My cat is wanting to come up. Let's see if she will join us. Yeah. Yeah. So these are ways of doing this. And so, and if for instance, like, you decide that you don't want to do your business anymore for whatever reason, you may have gotten either fed up with it, or you just want to do something completely different, then the best thing in that situation is to make sure that before you want to sell your intellectual property, that you've got the trademark registered for it, because that means that it's more valuable, so that in case you are wanting to have somebody else, continue the business without you in it, then because you are wanting to make money off that sale, the more value you have managed to build up with the what's it called? Oh, it sits at the tip of my tongue. So the reputation is what you build up, and then with a registered trademark, it becomes more valuable. And so, like, for instance, if you want to sell your company to an American company, they will look at, have you got a registered trademark or not? And if you don't, then they will put the goodwill at 0. And so that may give you a lower price than you were hoping to get. So it's really to your advantage to have the registered trademark and to protect your intellectual property. And so the other question is, how much is it worth? Well, or how much is it? I just put worth in parentheses because, if you want to sell it, how much is it worth? Well, again, like, say if J.K. Rowling wanted to sell her intellectual property, I don't know that she will. I don't think that she will. But say she wanted to, for whatever reason, then obviously the trademarks that she's got, the films and the merchandise, all of that is highly valuable. So that brings the price up significantly. So it's very difficult to say, like, you can buy a trademark for X amount of pounds or X amount of dollars or X amount of yen or whatever it is that you're working with. It's really, really difficult because it has to be a valuation of what is going on with your trademark and with the business that you've got. It could be worth nil. It could be worth tens of thousands of pounds. Who knows? You would have to have somebody who knows about these things, and that's not my specialty. I don't value or evaluate people's trademarks for them. I help them find trademarks and also register trademarks. So that's a big difference. And I'm sorry that the camera got pushed, but that's my cat. She was lying down in front of my laptop, which is sat on 2 boxes so that it's up in the proper height. But anyway, so yeah, it's really, really important to know and understand these things. As a creator, you will want to make sure that, should you want to, like, if you were a serial entrepreneur, then you will want to start a business because you get ideas the whole time, and then you're like, get to a certain point where you're like, yeah, now I'm fed up with this. Now I want to do something completely different. And so when you sell it, like when Apple's sold Pixar animation studios to Disney, I don't know, I can't remember. I'm not sure I even looked it up, but it was definitely worth a lot of money. And then it's about figuring out what it is that you do. Like, say Say you have somebody like Sir Richard Branson who gets ideas the whole time and is doing things to improve the market. This is something he's really good at, by the way. And sometimes he then does not retain these businesses, but they have a license to use the Virgin brand. That's another way of doing things, you see. You don't have to sell it. You can give a license out to people. So it really depends on what it is that you're wanting to do. Um, do you actually want to sell it, or do you want to give somebody else permission, or do you want a franchise? There are ways of doing things. Like McDonald's is a really good example of a franchise. Um, Burger King is a franchise. A lot of these brands that are out there. There are some um, uh, network marketing, I think, businesses. They also give a license to their independent, what are they called? Consultants, for instance, to use the brand name and to sell products on their behalf. So it can be really lucrative. So it's about figuring out what it is that you've got, what is it that you want to do with it, where do you want to go? Do you want to let completely go of it, or do you want to retain the rights but then give a license, or figure out what it is that you want to do. These are really important things to consider, because there are ways of doing things that can create income streams for you, and there are people out there doing it the whole time. So it's about wanting to know what you want to do and where you want to go, and do you actually want to sell it, or do you want just I'm repeating myself now, so I'm waffling. Okay, so today we're talking about, can I sell my intellectual property, and if so, how much is it, and in parenthesis worth. If you haven't heard of what I'm talking about, go back to the very beginning. Yeah, and that's it for today, I think, because there's been no questions. There's nobody here saying hi, and that's totally fine. People will catch these recordings or the live if they are able to. If they're not able to, that's totally fine. I do not get offended, because I will do them anyway, because I can talk about intellectual property and trademarks until the cows come home. So yeah. But let's wrap it up for today. I've been waffling for 13 minutes now. And your time is precious, as is mine. So any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Let me just see if there's anything popping up. No. All right. No matter. 13 minutes and 31 seconds. Okay, so have a fantastic day, and I know that this has been a really valuable session, so I look forward to being of service to you. Over and out for now, and see you next Tuesday, same two channels. Bye for now.